Test, test, test. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Callous Mind Talking Head Livecast with your host, me, Callous Mind. And I guess I got to say this, as cheesy as it is, May the 4th be with you, since this is May the 4th. And that's so ridiculous, but it's funny nonetheless. So let's go ahead and get into the first level of stories here. And this one is highlighted on the thumbnail. UFC parent company Endeavor goes public with stock sale. This is actually a stock I may consider buying, if for nothing else, just for fun. I think it's they stated a price in here. Endeavor Group Holdings, the media conglomerate and ownership company of UFC, launched an initial public offering Thursday. Executives Ariel Emanuel and Patrick Weitzel, as well as UFC President Dana White, all appeared at the New York Stock Exchange, where Endeavor stock began trading at $24 per share and closed at $25.20. It's official, White wrote on Instagram. The UFC is now a public company. According to filings with the Security and Exchange Commission last month, Endeavor is in the process of acquiring 100% ownership of UFC. Previously, Endeavor had owned 50.1% of the promotion, which it purchased from Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta for $4 billion in 2016. The coronavirus pandemic hit Endeavor hard in 2020, according to the same filings with the SEC. The company reported a $625 million net loss on $3.5 billion in revenue in 2020. Endeavor planned to go public in 2019 but pulled back at the last minute, reportedly due to low demand. The company also owns the Professional Bull Riders Tour and Miss Universe. So that's pretty cool. You want to quote unquote buy a share of UFC, then you can buy Endeavor, which their stock symbol is right here. So this, according to Yahoo Finance, is the latest on it, looks like. So there you go. Ticker symbol EDR, Endeavor Group Holdings Incorporated. Bear with me 1 second here while I get a drink. Next story up, this was from May 2nd. Boxer Felix Verdejo charged after body of missing woman found. Lightweight boxer Felix Verdejo faces federal charges stemming from the death of a 27-year-old woman whose body was found in a lagoon in Puerto Rico, officials announced late Sunday night. The body of Keishla Rodriguez, who was pregnant at the time of her death, was found a couple of days after she was reported missing. She was identified Sunday via dental records, Puerto Rico's Institute of Forensic Science said in a statement. The FBI arrested Verdejo, whose full name is Felix Verdejo Sanchez, on Sunday and charged him with kidnapping resulting in death, carjacking resulting in death, and intentionally killing an unborn child, known as the Unborn Victims of Violence Act of 2004. Verdejo, 27, could face life imprisonment or the death penalty for the carjacking and kidnapping charges, and life imprisonment for the intentional killing of an unborn child charge. Federal Judge Camille Velez ordered Verdejo to be held without bail on Monday and said this is a death penalty eligible case. While the death penalty does not exist in Puerto Rico, it can be used in cases that have federal charges such as the ones Verdejo is facing. The U.S. government has 30 days to present the case to a federal grand jury. Meanwhile, a date for Verdejo's next hearing has yet to be announced. A criminal complaint filed by the FBI accuses Verdejo of punching Rodriguez in the face and injecting her with a syringe filled with an unidentified substance bought at a public housing complex. It alleges that he then bound her arms and feet with wire and tied a heavy block to her before throwing her off a bridge at 8:30 a.m. Thursday. The complaint states that Verdejo then shot at Rodriguez's body as he stood on the bridge. The complaint says unidentified witness helped Verdejo kidnap and kill Rodriguez. The FBI is in charge of the investigation and worked with Puerto Rico Police Bureau and the Puerto Rico Department of Justice on the case. Puerto Rico mourns Keishla Rodriguez's death. Our deepest condolences to her family and friends, said Alexis Torres, the Secretary of Department of Public Safety of Puerto Rico, in a statement Sunday night. The Puerto Rico Police Bureau and the federal agencies have worked long hours collaborating as a team to solve this cold murder expeditiously. Our police officers' dedication, passion, and experience were essential in solving this murder in 48 hours. It demonstrates how the collaboration of efforts is essential for our public safety. We'll keep on working together, and we will seek justice for Keishla. As with all the articles that I highlight, this article will be linked in the description box below once the video is completed and the description is updated. And the next story up, this was also on the video thumbnail, and this was from April 25th, and I'd actually had it on the docket for last week's show, and then I missed it, so I'm talking about it this week. Central Michigan QB John Keller in serious condition after being shot. I'm sure his condition is updated since then, but like I said, this is an older story. Central Michigan quarterback John Keller was among 2 shooting victims at an off-campus party Saturday night, university officials said Sunday in a statement. Keller was in serious condition according to the CMU president, Dr. Bob Davies, and another CMU student who was shot, Tyler Bunting, was in stable condition. According to the CMU student newspaper CM Life, an investigation determined that several subjects arrived at a party, and shortly after a fight broke out. Sheriff's Department officials said in a release that someone went to a vehicle during the fight, retrieved a weapon, and then started firing at the party. Davies said in the university statement that local law enforcement led by the Isabel County Sheriff continues to investigate the incident and is searching for the suspect or suspects involved. Keller began his career at Cincinnati. He transferred to Pearl River Community College and set out last season at Central Michigan. And this was an older story too. This was one, once again, that I had on the docket for last week and just overlooked it. So this was from April 26th. Kyler Murray says Arizona Cardinals must master the, quote, little things, end quote, to win. Quarterback Kyler Murray believes there is a lot to do in order for the Arizona Cardinals to become a playoff team, and it starts with not taking the little things for granted. We started out hot, and we were kind of a team where you just didn't know what we were bringing to the table each and every Sunday, just kind of going with the flow, Murray told ESPN. Those organizations that are used to winning, they do everything right, and I don't think that we are there yet. And I think that's what we need. What we need to get to doing is doing everything right, the little things right. The little things matter in the grand scheme of things. Murray then rattled off a list of those little things: convert on 3rd and short, score in the red zone, make field goals, and not turn the ball over. And that was just the beginning. Murray said he could have kept going, but decided to stop his list at those. I think we do those things right, and we win a couple more games, and we're in the playoffs, and we put ourselves in position to be where we want to be, he said. Yeah, and you guys can also beat the Los Angeles Rams. That would be a real good place to start as well. Murray threw for 3,971 yards and 26 touchdowns against 12 interceptions, had a passer rating of 94.3, which earned him his first Pro Bowl nod a year after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. Arizona finished 8-8 and missed the playoffs by 1 game. The Cardinals started 5-2, but then went 3-6, which was brutal and painful to watch, which included a stretch of losing 4 out of 5. They faced a win and their in situation in the final 2 games of the season, but lost them both to backup quarterbacks and missed the playoffs for the 5th straight season. Ouch. Murray spent the early part of the offseason trying to get his body healthy and refining his fundamentals. He dealt with a shoulder injury midway through the season and an ankle injury late in the year. He said both of those injuries are healed. Part of this off-season routine was spent getting back to my roots, which meant bringing his throwing motion back to what it was before the shoulder injury. I had a little shoulder deal during the season, which caused me to kind of get out of whack as far as mechanically throwing the ball and stuff like that, which I was fine, but I want to get back to myself. Murray said, if you want to go back and you watch my college highlights, and then if you go and watch this past year's highlights, my release is a lot longer due to my having to deal with being a little hurt, banged up. With the Cardinals a week into their off-season program, Murray said he would like to continue this year's off-season virtually. He's still in Texas working out and training with his longtime trainer, Stephen Baca. While Murray is focused on the coming season, he's not worried about getting his contract extended, which can happen starting after his third season. In the meantime, Murray is closely watching what the Cardinals will do in this week's draft. When they pick 16th overall, he thinks they're in a weird spot because they pick in the middle of the round and will have to make a decision based on what has happened ahead of them. But Murray is good with the offensive pieces Arizona has around him at the moment and thinks they can help the Cardinals get to the postseason. I'm good with whatever Murray said. I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in the guys that we have. And I think if we are more detailed and do the little things right and are the most physical team on the football field every weekend, then we'll be fine. All right. So, next story up. This one was from May 3rd, and I just thought this was interesting. Baseball's Hall of Fame has accepted Roberto Alomar's resignation from Board of Directors Chairman Jane Forbes Clark announced Monday. Alomar was elected to the board in 2019, submitted a letter of resignation Saturday in the wake of an allegation of sexual misconduct. The Hall of Fame second baseman was fired last week as a consultant by Major League Baseball and placed on the league's ineligible list after an investigation into the allegation. Commissioner Rob Manfred announced the firing Friday, saying in a statement that baseball industry employee reported an incident earlier this year involving Alomar from 2014. Wow. The league hired an external legal firm to investigate the matter. Major League Baseball said it would not provide further details on the investigation to protect the individual who came forward. Clark said after Manfred's announcement that Alomar's plaque would remain on display in the hall because his enshrinement reflects his eligibility and the perspective of the Baseball Writers Association of America voters at the time. Alomar was inducted in 2011. So this statement right here, his enshrinement reflects his eligibility and the perspective of the Baseball Writers Association of America voters at the time. If that's the case, then, and stuff that happens after your playing career can't be held against you, why is Pete Rose still not in the Hall of Fame? Because he bet on baseball as a manager. Now, I admit I think that's a crappy thing to do and all that stuff, but that should not reflect on Pete getting in the Hall of Fame as a player. And I think that's what needs to be fixed, because there's a player and there's a manager side. As far as I know, you can get into the Hall of Fame as a player and as a manager. So why can't we separate the two in the case of Pete Rose and put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Alomar also lost his position as a special assistant with the Toronto Blue Jays. The club said it was severing ties with Alomar, including removing him from its level of excellence and taking down his banner from Rogers Center. The Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum also said it would not revoke his status as an inductee, but it did ban him from future Hall events and said it would no longer be associated with him or his foundation. Alomar was a 12-time All-Star over 17 seasons with the San Diego Padres, Blue Jays, Baltimore Orioles, Cleveland Indians, New York Mets, Chicago White Sox, and Arizona Diamondbacks. He was known as a slick fielder, winning 10 Gold Gloves, and also for his temper. He infamously spat in umpire John Hirschbeck's face, earning a 5-game ban in 1996. So, there you go. Alright, I'm doing this a little later in the show than I usually do, but today's video sponsor is BuyCustomCoins.com. If you're looking to buy custom coins, custom lapel pins, and there's no better or more obvious place than buycustomcoins.com. So be sure to check them out. And then also today I wanted to do a movie recommendation, and I actually have access to this movie because of something because of my what is it, AMC Plus subscription. So this movie Mayhem, if you have Amazon Prime Video and you have an AMC Plus subscription, then you have access to this this Mayhem movie, and I highly recommend it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I would recommend this movie to anybody. So I will also link that in the video description box below, and you can also see that I have this. You can help stop wildfires. And I have this because I just wanted to do a quick public service announcement, as we have entered May, and temperatures in Arizona are already hitting 100 degrees, at least here in central Arizona. So please, please, please be responsible. Control tow chains, cigarette disposals, etc., and you can prevent unnecessary forest and wildfires. So please, please, please be responsible. And if you guys will give me 1 second here, I will go ahead and check the comments. Oh, Adam, that is good, man. Good, yeah. Let me see where I'm at here. All right. So Adam says, I can't believe you didn't talk about the crybaby Aaron Rodgers wanting out of Green Bay. Him and his cheesy porn star mustache can stick to hosting Jeopardy. He has the personality of a sweaty sock. As for Pete Rose, I think the main issue is that he bet as a manager who still has the ability to alter the outcomes of games. All sports take that seriously. Well, I'm certainly not going to dispute that with you, and I agree that Pete betting on baseball when he was a manager was a pretty despicable thing to do, but I still say, you can't shoot him down as a player because of what he did as a manager, because the reality is, the guy was just a top-notch player, man. The all-time hits leader. There's just no reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall. So, as that, you could put an asterisk on the plaque or, whatever you want to do, but Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. So, that's just my opinion, and as far as Aaron Rodgers go, I don't know, man. I think that's kind of funny because it's so weird how moody some of these guys get, and it's like you're making a bunch of money, you're competing. I believe you've been to the last 2 NFC Championship games, and you haven't advanced. So, but Green Bay's still good, so I don't understand why he wants out. Not only that, but he's a minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, as far as I know. So I don't understand why Aaron Rodgers would want out of Green Bay because he got his feelings hurt because they potentially drafted his replacement. This is the way professional sports works. We all know that. We know that for sure. That you get up in age, probably over 33, and they start looking and thinking about your replacement because they have to, because it's their business. Because even after you're gone, they want to continue to be good. So, man, I just don't get these guys, but at the same time, I understand it perfectly. They're a big-time athlete. They got big-time money, big-time ego, and, just think that they should always get their way. And life just doesn't apparently work like that for anybody, I guess. Not even the super rich and super famous. So, But that's oh man, that is great. All right, well, I think I will go ahead and leave that right there. That's kind of my opinion on Aaron Rodgers. I wish him well. I wish the Packers well. That's fine. I mean, if they want to move him and can move him, then maybe that's what you know they should do. But I just think that it's ridiculous. I think Aaron Rodgers has been great in Green Bay, and I think that he should just stay right there. But I don't know. I guess we'll all see what transpires and just go from there. So I hope all of you beautiful viewers have a great rest of the week, and I will talk to you next next Tuesday. So that'll be the 11th of May. So until then, be good to yourselves and each other, and I will talk to you all later. God bless.